Okay, guys, let's. You guys have waited long enough. Thank you guys for your patience.
Yes, really.
Thank you very much for saying hello. I hope the audio's good. The audio, I'm talking into this microphone, and Captain Ricker's talking to his microphone. That's for the audio portion of our podcast. The actual audio for the video and the live tube, the YouTube, not live tube. Did it again. The actual audio for YouTube is coming from a small a condenser microphone right over here on top of my keyboard.
Right.
So, and you know, we want to have good sound, we want to have good pictures. So hopefully we got both. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but oh, look here. Here's my new thing, Yoda here.
Oh yes, talking Yoda.
A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense. Never attack.
Whoa, a Jedi.
A real Jedi.
Let me put it over here so that you can hear the sound better.
For 800 years have I trained Jedi.
Yeah, for 800 years have you, Master Yoda. It's really for the dark side.
The dark side of the Force I made.
It's really good animatronics actually here.
Yes, it is.
Captain Rich, good animatronics.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's an Autumn Yosa. What the heck is wrong with me today, man?
I would like to know myself.
Autumn Yosa. What else? Live tube. You know, what else am I gonna say?
Should have heard him yesterday. And I thought I was bad.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys, everybody, for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started now. We're not waiting any longer. Thank you guys. We're going to go ahead and roll in the opening. And today, we're doing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
And we're also going to review and discuss Star Trek Picard Episode 4. We're 4 episodes in. And it's a great show so far. But let me go ahead and roll in the opening. And I'm going to have to turn it up over here so you guys can hear it. So I'll step out of the way as I'm turning it up so you guys can hear our opening, and then we'll get started. We're recording now. Let's go ahead and hit you guys. We want you guys to be a part of this. So here we go. It's not recording. Is it recording? Go ahead. Record. What the heck is going on today? Here we go. The following feature presentation is part of the AllForSciFi podcast network. Oh yeah!
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
If you only knew
The power of the dark side!
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough! He only used you.
No. I am your father. I'll be back.
Oh, no you won't. I'll be back!
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh yeah!
It's a trap!
It's a trap!
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
For the one. Do. Or do not.
Or do not. There is no
There is no
try.
trap.
Live long. Yes.
Get away
Live
from
long.
her, you
Uh-oh.
bitch!
No, not bitch. That's bad.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine?
Yes, I did.
Yes, he did. He's telling him. He's telling him you built a time machine out of a DeLorean.
Yes, he did. Oh, sorry.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, let me turn this down. We're getting the show started. Hey, everybody.
Yes, we are.
Hey, welcome to the AllForSciFi channel podcast. My name is Eric Walker, and behind me is...
Captain Rickster. How's everybody doing out there today?
I hope everybody's having a great time. Today is Sunday, February 16th, and this is being recorded in the very lovely town of Woodland Hills, California.
That's right.
So, and it's a very nice day today. It's only, what, about 75?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the weather's great, And we thank everybody that also is on YouTube that's watching us. They're seeing a behind the scenes of how we actually record this show and podcast. And we thank everybody for joining us on YouTube.
That's right.
So throughout the show, we're occasionally going to be referring to people that are watching us on YouTube. So that just because we want participation, and we also want some sort of interactive type of thing going on here. And we appreciate everybody that's joined us on YouTube. Thank you so much. This is what are we on? What episode are we on now? This is our third episode of this year of season 2, but I think it's like episode. I think we've done over 30 episodes now.
Yeah, so far.
Which is great. So thank you everybody for joining us on YouTube. I see Steve. Thank you very much for sharing us out. Steve Spoltar with the community of Star Wars collectors. I see our trusty, wonderful admin Virginia is on us with us as well. Thank you, Virginia. And we have some new people. We have Exploring with Mike and some other people that have joined us. Let's see who else we got.
Michael.
And Michael's joined us. Hey, Michael, thank you for joining us as well. We're having a lot of fun with these shows, especially when we go to every week, every Saturday, when we're in town and not at a convention, we go to Disneyland and Galaxy's Edge and our California Adventure. And if you don't know already, I'm going to tell you, we have a live weekly trivia game that we do. And all you have to do is watch our live stream on YouTube on our AllForSciFi channel. It's at YouTube. It's just all one word, AllForSciFi. Watch us there. Hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we're live. All you have to do is watch us every Saturday as we do our show, and we're going to give you clues, and we're going to talk about trivia, and then at the end of the podcast, we're going to ask one question, and then you have a shot at winning a free Galaxy's Edge gift. And that's every week we're doing this when we're in town, because we're not doing it when we're at conventions and we're out of town. And speaking of that, Captain Rickster, we're going to be at a convention. Not next weekend, we have the live trivia game, but 2 weeks from now, we're going to be in Pensacola at Pensacon in Florida, and we'll do the live trivia game also at every place we're at.
Oh yes.
So
no matter what.
we'll make it based on the area we're at. So we'll look up some trivia about the town in Pensacon. So we'll figure something out, right?
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out, and so some trivia about that area. If any of you who are watching our show and you're from Pensacola, you're welcome to send us a private message and let us know about your area.
Oh, definitely,
right?
yes. Yes.
So, and maybe we'll use your question. But we'll figure out a gift that we're going to give you guys from that convention for that week on the live trivia show. So, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, there's issues with YouTube. People have issues. Definitely. You got to make sure that you actually hit the button. And Captain Rickster, I'm going to slap you in a second. All I hear is a...
Yeah, it's that time of the year, you know.
Can you just everybody, let's pause the podcast so that he could clear his throat, blow his nose, cough, do whatever you got to for the next minute. Okay.
I'm done. I'm good.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm good.
I don't know how well you hear that on you guys could let us know in the comments below. I know I'm mean.
He definitely is mean.
I am mean sometimes, but
he's a mean brother to me.
It's distracting, and it's distracting. Yeah, Darth Vader choke him. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He'll kill me in a minute. Don't worry about that.
They use the Force. Yeah, Darth Vader.
Don't turn him dark. You know, I mean, I like him when he's.
I'm bad enough already, Virginia. You don't want to see my. Hey guys, look at my new Yoda. Not Yoda. I like to call him the child. But look, my new Mandalorian shirt. Look.
Nice one.
Is that cool or what?
Very nice.
Oh, I love the child. Anyway, that was that.
That child. That child's cute.
He sure is, and it's a he, by the way.
Is she?
I see coffee cups where people are saying, "Give this to the." It's acting like it's a she, and Yoda's other best wife. It says or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah.
Guys, it's a he. So why are you saying that's Yoda's next best wife or something like that? And it might be his offspring, so that's kind of disgusting, actually.
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah, I know, huh?
Yep.
Grandson or something, for all we know.
Yeah, okay, so, what a week it's been. And, again, guys, if you haven't done it already and you're stumbling across this show, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Over here on the right side, there's a subscribe and a bell. Hit both of those. That way you know, and hopefully you'll get the notifications. Apparently, it doesn't always do that, but we're live every week, so we're pretty standard. When we say when we're going to be live, we're live. So
yes, we are.
that live trivia game is always going 10 a.m. to 12 Pacific time, 1 to 3 Eastern, and 12 to 2 p.m. Central if you're in the middle of the United States. So anyway, so we'll continue that because we're going to give a. We want everybody to participate. Everybody that
we give a gift every year.
Well, not every year. We're giving one every week. Yeah,
every year.
Classic
Okay.
Captain Rickster. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption, but I just heard a glitch there somewhere along the sentence there.
Probably not, my friend. Anyway, okay, so remember, we're going to be at Pensacon in 2 weeks, so keep joining us there. Watch us when we're at Disneyland, learn some trivia, and participate. And let's go ahead and give our shout-outs. We are very proud and very happy to be AllForSciFi.com is sponsored by Order 66 Toys. Order 66 Toys is the nation's largest Star Wars-only toy store. It's outside of Dallas, Texas. So if you're ever in the Dallas area, the suburbs, go and stop in and say hi to Josh, Gingy, Tim, Heather, Robbie, all of the gang there at Order 66 Toys. We love you. Thank you for sponsoring us. And if you'd like to get on Facebook, they have a very wonderful Friday night sale every Friday. They've done it now for over a year. They have some. Last week they had Black Series.
Right.
So it was wonderful, all the Black Series, and I just didn't have any time because I'm getting prepared for our shows, but I need to watch them more because my Black Series, you see the big collection behind me on YouTube, but my Black Series, I've started to put them in order, and I'm missing about half of them. So, I do have a lot of Black Series. I have about 40 or 50 of the 100 and something that they have, but I definitely need to get going with that collection, right?
Oh, yes, you do.
So, yeah, Order 66 Toys. Make sure they're on Facebook. Type in on the search bar and on Facebook, type in Order 66 Toys. Follow them or like them. Hit the notification thing so you can know when they go live on Facebook. Facebook is better about the live notifications.
Right.
Also, AllForSciFi.com is very proud to be a part of the community of Star Wars collectors, the CSWC, which is ran by a great guy. And now the CSWC and Order 66 has a campaign that they got going on to raise funds for Execute Cancer. And that's a really great thing that's going on that they're doing. So remember, we want to execute cancer, and please donate to their cause when you get a chance. And also follow the community of Star Wars collectors on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. It's one of the largest. It's over 36,000 members, and we're all a family. It's about family, community, love, and giving back. And that's what Star Wars is about for me as well.
Yes, it is.
So not just about being in Star Wars, it's about community and family, and that's why I love you guys so much. Okay, so we've done all that. We got our announcements out of the way. Is there any news this week? Any sci-fi news?
Not that I know of. I mean, there's a movie coming out next week, but I can't remember what the name of it is.
Well, there's lots of movies coming out. In fact, on our AllForSciFi.com, we actually have a movie guide, a 2020 movie guide. That's the other thing, too. Make sure you go to our website, AllForSciFi.com, and bookmark it. It's updated weekly. And new content, new stories. We have the 2020 sci-fi movie guide that's on there. You guys could see what's coming up in the rest of this year. So make sure you bookmark our page and go to AllForSciFi.com. You could also join that blog there as well. There's a way to join it so that we have your information whenever we need to email you when we're doing stuff. So, okay. Coming back, I'm going to come over to YouTube real quick and say hi to everybody. Hey, everybody. Let's see. Steve. We can't really hear it, so don't worry about it. The Baby Yoda. Okay, yeah, I know. Baby Yoda's cute. Yeah, Mikey, that's a good thing. A lot of people are speculating whether or not the baby, the child, is
Yeah.
a clone of Yoda. But if you remember, here's my take on it. I don't think that he's a clone of that.
Yeah, they
I don't
did.
remember which episode of The Mandalorian, but it said that he was not a clone. I think it was Queel who said that.
Said that, yeah.
Believe it was Quill who said that he's not a clone, and he's talking about the cloners, like the Camino,
Right,
the cloners
yeah.
on Camino, and he mentions, and then he looked at Cara Dune and he said she might be a clone. Remember?
Yeah, I
it was
remember
that
that.
episode. So I believe it probably.
Episode 2, wasn't it? Or
No,
3?
no. It's when he went back and he has the Cara Dune with them. It's probably
episode-
It's probably 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
It's right before they go back to the end.
Right.
Yeah, but they actually addressed that, and I thought that was kind of neat because there was rapid speculation on the internet about that.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's funny because the Mandalorian show, every time somebody starts to speculate about something, it seemed like they addressed it in the episode, like they knew we were going to do it.
Anticipated it.
Yeah, it's like they anticipated that, because how we Star Wars, we like to try to create our own adventures. That's who we are. So
Oh, that's true.
yeah. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and start talking about what we're here for. We're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog and also Picard Episode 4 of Star Trek. Which one do you want to talk about first? Picard?
Let's talk about Picard first.
Okay, guys, let's talk about Star Trek Picard first. I'm going to go with Captain Richter's suggestion. Star Trek Picard Episode 4. This is Episode 4. What was the name of this episode? Do you remember?
Oh, jeez.
Trying to remember the name of that
Forgot now.
episode. Yeah. Anyway, I think I don't know the name of it, but let's go ahead and talk about it. I liked it. I liked this episode. I liked it enough that initially I was going to give it 4.5 stars.
Right.
But something happened in this episode, and I know some people just don't care,
Right.
and they think I'm going on about it too much. And you want to say what it is, Captain Rickster?
Yeah, they said 2 bad words. They
said 2 bad
They
words.
said F and they said GD.
Yeah, but they did that in a prior episode, and what people are forgetting is in another episode they said a couple words that were kind of
Not
bad
so-
words, but they weren't that bad, so they didn't bug me.
They weren't that foul.
They weren't that foul, they didn't bug me. But guys, if you're saying the F word on a show that's much smarter than that, that's what bugs me.
It's not an adult show. It's also children. It's a family show, so it's children and adults in this thing, not just adults only. I think you see it was
Yeah.
adults only,
Right.
but it's not. You've got children watching this same thing too. So, you need to like tone it down a little bit on the swear words and stuff like that.
Yeah, and thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's Absolute Candor is the name of the episode.
Okay, yeah.
So I remember on my review I said, "Let me be candid with you." I was
Yeah,
like
that's
playing a
right.
joke. Yeah, thank you for that, YouTube and Michael. Yeah, if it was one word, and it was
Okay.
like if they said the S word, or they said damn, or something like that,
But that's okay.
it wouldn't bug me.
No.
And for some people, saying using God's name in vain wouldn't bug them either.
That's true.
Saying GD.
But why say it in the same?
They said it back to back.
Yeah, right back to
Actually,
back in
the
same
two characters,
thing.
the two characters both said it back to back, and he was talking about and which we also learned, by the way, that the it's not an EMH, like an emergency medical hologram. It's
Right.
actually a hospitality
The
hologram.
hologram.
Because I was calling it an EMH, but on
Yeah.
this episode they corrected me on it. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna give episode, before we get into spoilers, I'm going to give you the rating. At AllForSciFi, we have a 0 to 5 star rating. 5 stars is of course the best. 3 stars or below, we see you don't have to go to it if it's in the movie. In this case, you don't have to stream it. If we give something 3 stars or below, we do not recommend even wasting your time.
Really.
I'm not. And at the beginning, I said I was going to give it 4.5 stars, and I lowered it because of the swear words. So I'm going to go ahead and give Picard still a very, very solid 4. That's my rating. I'm going to give this Absolute Candor, Episode 4, a 4-star rating. And that's still very good. 4 stars out of 5 is good.
Yes,
What would
it
you
is.
give it?
I'm going to agree with you this time. Just the simple fact
Oh,
is because I don't
Oh,
like
my.
I don't like what they did in that same scene with two different people saying the things that were not good.
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
I'm
I mean,
sorry-
what do you
I'm sorry,
what do
that's
you
just what
guys
I
think?
feel.
What do you guys think on YouTube? Those that are watching us as we're taping this podcast, what do you think about this? Are you know, some people say they're on a fence about it. Some people, I had one person who, a woman who said that they were more upset about the beheading if their children were watching it. And I get that.
I do too.
Yeah, it's not good to behead someone. They didn't. They kind of saw it slide off, but it wasn't gross or anything.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so let us know. What do you guys think on YouTube? Am I going on too much about this? Maybe I am. But let me tell you why I'm going off a little bit, and then we'll move on and we'll talk about the episode. And when we get into the episode, it's going to have spoilers, so if you've seen it, you may not. You want to turn the volume down while we talk about this. But I'm going on about this because, to me, growing up, Star Trek was the smarter, more intelligent version, and I don't know if this is going to come off the wrong way, but I'm going to say it. It was a smarter, more intelligent version of Star Wars.
Right. And that's the original series back in the 60s.
Yes, the original series, not the
ones
movies.
today.
No.
And not the movies either.
Yeah. And I have a cousin who is a Trekkie. His name is Tony, Anthony James White is my cousin, and he did some voiceover work for me. He's a great guy. On the Timekeepers, on my music, it's his voice, by the way, on that on my CD, doing the timekeeping commander. But oh, I said it. I'm in trouble. You're funny, Virginia.
Really?
That cousin was smarter than me. Okay. He was smarter than me, and maybe that's why I always attributed it to being the smarter of the space opera type of shows. Because my cousin was smart, much smarter than me. He's a genius. He's like getting near Einstein levels. He won't admit it, but he is. So shout out to you, cousin. To me, again, it was a smarter show. And that's what's bugging me, because when you say swear words, when the show has that much good writing, the show is great. I love the show. I love Star Trek Picard. I love this show so far. In fact, I forgot to mention this episode is being directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Yep.
And Jonathan Frakes, as many of you know, was Commander Riker. He was number 1 for Picard. And he's a great director. Jonathan is great. He's a great director. I enjoyed a lot of the episodes he directs, including a lot of the Orville episodes.
Right.
Remember Orville?
Yeah.
What's on now? And people are saying it's like another Star Trek, but comedy-wise, I like it. And the pacing, by the way, on this episode was much better than the pacing on the prior episode. It felt the pacing felt a little bit more like, even though I'm not trying to compare it to Star Trek The Next Generation. I'm not going to go there. This is a different show. This is 30 years later. It's a different show. I don't want The Next Generation. I'm glad it's different. But enough of this now. I'm not going to go on. Let's have some fun. But guys, please stop dumbing down the show. You're great writers on this show. There's no reason to do it. So please. And I'm not going to stop watching. I had someone gave me wrote down a comment like, geez, you might as well stop watching now. And then when I explained it to him, after he said that, he writes back to me, I was on the offense about that, the swear words too. And I'm thinking, if you're on the offense about him, then why are you making a comment about me?
That's definitely true.
If you're on the offense, you agree with me.
That's true.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to make up anybody's mind. You could have your own mind. And I'm not upset if anybody disagrees with me out there, because you have the right, and I respect your opinion, no matter what, even if it's not the same as mine. So enough about that. But Picard writers, if anybody stumbles across this, if this is what you're doing to get us talking, you got us talking. But please stop.
Yeah,
Stop with the strong. And it's a strong word to me, guys. The F word is strong.
It shows the DD word too.
The GD word is very strong to me because I'm a Christian.
Right.
And most Christians out there would appreciate it.
That's
but
very
the
true.
F word for sure is a strong, in fact, it's one of the 7 words that you're not allowed to say on television.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm sorry guys for ranting. All right, let's get into Picard. I'm gonna get a lot of comments about this in the comments. Oh, I was gonna subscribe to you, but since you went on about the F word,
Yeah, I know. Huh?
well,
Yeah.
and then you say you agree with me. Oh, well, okay, make up your mind.
Yeah, and then join anyway.
Yeah, and then join anyway. Okay, so Picard, absolute candor. I gave it 4 stars. It's really up in the 4.5 league. It's really a great episode.
Oh yeah.
It starts off, and here come the spoilers, guys. So if you didn't hear about it, I'm sorry about that. But we're going to talk about the episode. This is a podcast. That's what we do. It starts off in the past again. 14 years.
Yes, it does.
14 years have gone by, and 14 years not gone by in the past, and you see them this time. Picard materializes on a planet in the Beta quadrant.
Right.
I can't speak today, as usual.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Vashti.
Vashti, yeah.
They called it Vashti. And he materializes there, and he's greeted with these Romulans, and this is back in the past, and he goes to meet these sisters who are part of this really, really, like, they're kind of like monks, but they're like ninja monks.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the Malat Nor.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
can't. They Star Trek. You got some really hard words to pronounce. There's this boy running around, of course, right before Picard materializes. His name is Eleanor.
Oh, yeah.
And he steals some dragon fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, the dragon fruit really does look like an alien fruit, so
Yes,
that
it
was a good
does.
choice. I love dragon fruit. Dragon fruit is kind of from Asia.
Yeah.
And it's great. It kind of tastes like a melon mixed with kiwi.
Right. It does.
That would be so it's great. If you never had dragon fruit, it's great. So, and he says, "Bite me." The little kid's telling the merchant to bite him
Yeah.
in Romulan. And that didn't bug me. So anyway, he materializes. He's greeted by these Romulans, and then he goes up to, and he's having a conversation with his sister, and they're talking about the evacuation of all the Romulans because their son's going to go supernova.
Yep.
And after they have a nice scene, Picard is there for a couple days,
Mm-hmm.
and he's playing with this child. He brings this child a book to read. And the acting by this kid is very good, by the way.
Oh yes. Very.
A natural. I really believed him when he said that Picard hurt his feelings.
Right. Yeah.
He goes, "That hurt my feelings," and really, great acting, great show. And he brought the kid the Three Musketeers book to read,
Yeah.
which was cool. And then later you see him reading to the kid, and then you see a shot where he's doing fencing with the kid,
Right.
which is neat. And him doing the fencing with a kid is kind of like showing what's going to happen later, and you'll see when we talk about it
Right.
concerning fencing. But then he gets a call from Raffi, who's telling him about the attack on Mars,
Right.
about how the synthetics went ahead and attacked Mars. So he has to go. Suddenly in a huff, he has to go. And he says he'll be back. But he doesn't go back, by the way.
Nope.
He does later, but we'll get into that. But he doesn't go back like he says to them at that moment. He disappears for 14 years. Then it comes back to the current time frame. They're in the ship with, and Rios is reading a book, and Dr. Agnes Girardi, Alison Pill's character, is talking to Rios, and she's trying to bug him.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And I like her character. I like the Doctor because she's the comic element in the show.
Right.
And she's bugging him, and she says, "What book are you reading?" "Oh, about the existential thing beyond death," or something like that, to paraphrase it.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Oh, geez, that's not a conversation killer. I'm talking about the existentials of dying." And then they're interrupted by Raffi,
Right.
and Raffi's yelling at Rio, saying she looked up the navigation logs and see that they've changed course.
Right.
And so she's yelling at Rios, "Why did you change course?" Because Picard wanted us to change. And apparently Picard now, 14 years later, he disappeared. He wants to go back to Vashti.
Right.
And they go in and they meet Picard, and Picard is inside this room, and that's where that swearing stuff happens at the beginning of the scene. Not the beginning of the scene, but when they come in. There was a scene earlier before that where he was talking with the hospitality hologram, and he was trying to recreate his home, like the Chateau Picard. They were trying to recreate it in the holosuite, which was kind of cool. And later, when later they are interrupted by Rios and Rafi, and Rafi's mad. She doesn't want to change course because she wants to get to the Free Cloud.
That's right.
So then Picard explains to him, "I need to go back because he wants to try to get the service and get the Malat Nor to bind their sword to him."
Right.
I'm having a hard time pronouncing these words. They are very tough words.
Yes, they are. Better you than me.
Anyway, so he wants to go back there to try to get one of the sisters to join the cause.
Right.
So they show up at the planet. They find that the planet's changed. Now the planet has some sort of defense system. A Romulan defense grid has been set up.
Right.
But they find a way to get around it. They know it has some weaknesses, and so they're able to beam Picard down. And when Picard shows up this time, it's very different.
Oh, very,
14 years later.
Yes, very different.
He sees a sign that says Romulans only, which is kind of a reminiscence of the civil rights movement back when it was, whites only, or stuff like that. And Picard notices a very, very different time. So, funny. We're not going to talk. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
But anyway, here we go. So Picard's there. He goes up back to the sister's place. He gets to see Eleanor grown up.
Yeah.
So he sees him, grown up. And the sister, when the sister's having a conversation with Picard, she tells Picard that he's trained.
Yeah, very much.
Even though he's not a also, by the way, these elite fighters that they're supposed to only be women.
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting. But the sister says, even though he's a man, which is kind of cool, he's the best. She says he's the best fighter that she's ever seen.
Yes, that's true.
And I guess Picard at that point decides, hey, I let this boy go.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
he decides swords to a lost cause.
Right.
And that's it. And he kind of acts like he says no to Picard, but he's thinking about it. We find out later he didn't say no, but he leaves Picard in it thinking that he says no, he will not join him.
Right.
And good acting again. Even this grown-up Eleanor, they have a little moment where he asked Picard if he missed him. That was a great moment.
Yes, it was.
So, this is a great show, guys. Picard is really turning out. It's a well-written show. That's why I got so mad about the other thing. I don't want to bring that up again, but
right.
So Picard decides that he's going to leave because Eleanor's not going to help him.
Right.
He's not going to bound his sword to his cause. And before he goes, they have to wait for a time window.
Right, to come open.
And in between all this, they do go back to the ship, the Borg ship. Right. And we have scenes that happen on there. Although we're not talking that much about those scenes, we do learn a little bit more. There's a scene with Narek and his sister, who's the fake spy, Lieutenant Rizzo. There's too much weird tension going on between the brother and sister there. I'm not either that or she's teasing him.
Something like that.
But and he's still trying to work on. We're going to be done here in a minute. So don't worry, we'll be on Sonic Hedgehog in a minute here. We're almost done. But he's still trying to get Soshi to spill the secret where the rest of all the other synthetics. Apparently, there's this whole army she has that we don't know about.
Right.
And they don't want her to activate, become the destroyer, and activate her army. They want to find out where all the rest of them are at so that they can deal with them and deal with her. And because I guess somehow in their writings and teachings, she's the destroyer and going to destroy everything in the universe with these other synthetics, I guess. So we have a little bit more scenes with Sochi and Narek as well, and her part's a little more minimized in this. It's not as big as it was in the other ones.
Right.
But going back to Picard, he's waiting to be beamed up when they could get through again, through the signal, and he decides he wants to go over to where it says Romulans only and have a drink. Because Picard's not going to put up with this racism. So he takes the Romulan sign, it says Romulans only, throws it down on the ground, goes and sits down, and he tries to get a waiter to help him, but the waiter won't help him. And then another Romulan stands up and tells Picard that he was once a senator, and he knows what, he's kind of trying to bait Picard. You didn't help us, and I was a senator, and I was, said it was okay for you to help us, and now you left us there. And he grabs a sword, and this is what we were talking about. They were kind of doing showing Picard with the fencing thing, and he grabs a sword and he throws it at Picard and says, "You're going to fight me." So he's trying to fight Picard, the senator. Yes, he is. And Picard acts like he's going to do it, but then just throws it down.
Yep.
He's not going to fight.
That's right.
And then Eleanor pops up and tells the senator either you choose to live or you choose to die. And then he lets Picard know that he's now decided to bind his sword to Picard and his cause, which is great.
It is.
And of course, that dumb senator doesn't do it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And that's when that really act of violence that someone mentioned, which they didn't like either, he quickly spins, does a move, and chops the guy's head off.
Well, he slices.
Very clean.
Very clean
You
slice.
don't see anything.
There's nothing there. You see something when
Yep.
a little bit of dribble coming out, and then the head just slides right off.
Right. So anyway, then another one of them's going to use a Romulan disruptor. He goes, "Well, you may have a sword, but you can't beat a disruptor." And right as they're about to shoot, he's about to shoot Eleanor and Picard. Just before that, they called him and said, "We're ready to beam you up." And he goes, "Beam us up right now."
Yeah, that's right.
So they're beamed up, back up to the ship, just in the nick of time. And Picard stops Eleanor and says, "You need to listen to me. This is very important. You do not kill anybody until I say, or you don't fight until I say to fight."
Right.
And Eleanor agrees, even though he says something else about, well, he decided to die or whatever.
Yeah, he made his own decision.
So, but he agrees. He
Yeah.
promises to not do any more violence unless Picard says so, or fight. So, anyway, they're trying to get, in the midst of all this, old Romulan bird of prey is showing up. That's why they got to get out of there.
Right.
And it's firing on them, so they're having this firefight. Really great scene.
Oh, yeah,
with all these spaceships fighting. And then suddenly this other ship appears, a really small ship, and is helping them.
Yeah.
They don't know who this person is. And but the person hails them, and they keep saying, "He wants to talk to you. You're being this person. He wants to talk to you." And Picard acts like, "Put it through," but he pauses and stops himself because he's not the captain.
Right. Yes.
Another classic great moment. There's been some really neat little things, like when he didn't sit in the captain's chair.
That's right.
And he bypassed that in a prior episode. When he first went up to the Rio ship, he decided he walked past the captain's chair and sat down on the other one. This one, he stops himself so that Rios could do it, but it's too late.
Oh, yes.
And so Rio says, beam him up, beam the guy up. Yeah, but when they beam him up, it's not a guy.
It's a woman.
It's a woman, and it's 7 of 9.
Yes.
Oh.
Next episode's with her.
7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager.
That's right.
Who would have thought that Picard would have been with 7 of 9 back in the past, huh?
Oh, yes.
And she looks like she's ready. I mean, she has a She says one line and passes out, but she looks at Picard and she has blood on her forehead and she says, "You owe me a shit, Picard." Ugh, and passes out.
That's true, yes.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Okay, well, that's it for talking about Picard. I know some people on this podcast, it just said on YouTube, they're not that into Star Trek. But we like everything sci-fi here. Of course, Star Wars being number one. Number one, baby.
Yes.
For me, as you could tell. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys ready for this? Before we get into spoilers, let's go ahead and talk about the rating, okay?
Oh, yes.
Again, our rating system is 0 to 5 stars. If it's 5, it's the best. If it's 3 or below, don't go to the movies and see Sonic the Hedgehog. Or if it's streaming or on TV, don't watch it. So Sonic the Hedgehog, the official AllForSciFi.com rating is... I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I liked Sonic the Hedgehog. I was surprised. I did not go into this movie thinking... I thought I was going to go watch some sappy little kids movie.
Oh, yes,
And I was surprised. I actually enjoyed a good deal of this movie. I think that not just the acting involved was good. Of course, we haven't seen Jim Carrey in how long?
a long time. Anyway, I agree with him on this one.
What?
Oh, yes.
He agrees with me.
Again, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah. I don't think it could be good, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it could be good.
Right?
Yeah.
Before we jump further into Sonic the Hedgehog and have spoilers, Michael likes Star Trek. Yeah, I love it. I love Star Trek too.
Yes. I love the original Star Trek. That's what I grew up on.
Well, I think they're doing a good job on this new show.
Yes, they
I
are.
can't wait to see Discovery again. Where's Discovery, guys?
Yeah, it's supposed to be out already.
Come on, guys. Anyway, Hedgehog. It was adventurous.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't just a con
Put it by Sega.
by Sega, of course. And this film, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, was directed by Jeff Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
And this is his first film. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
Good job, Jeff.
Yes, great job.
Good job on being your first. It's his first feature film. I don't know if he did anything else prior to that. And the screenplay was written by Pat Casey and Josh Miller.
Oh, that's good.
So, of course, we mentioned Jim Carrey already, but the film also stars Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic.
Right.
And it has, of course, we mentioned Jim
Mm-hmm.
as Dr. Robotnik, as well as James Marsden,
Mm-hmm.
Tika Sumpter, Natasha Rothwell, Adam Paley, and Neil McDonough, I think is the name.
Yeah,
hard to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
But basically, I think it was in 2013, Sony Pictures acquired the film rights to this franchise. And it's
Right.
taken that long to make it. So it's been quite a while. It was filmed in British Columbia, Canada, and Vancouver Island.
I think
See
the
what
reason
else?
why they waited is because they wanted the technology to be a little bit better than
Maybe.
it was back those many years ago.
You wonder. The budget of the film was about 80 to 95 million.
Mm-hmm.
And the first weekend, it made 111 million this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
So I could see why it made 111 million dollars.
Not global, not domestic, but around the world.
Yeah. So basically, Sonic in the storyline, the movie version, he's an extraterrestrial blue hedgehog, who of course we know from the game he could run at supersonic speeds.
Yep.
In the beginning, it opens up. He's with his caretaker, Longclaw, the owl,
Mm-hmm.
who encourages. The owl is encouraging him, Sonic, to hide his powers from everybody. But of course, Sonic won't listen, and he's running around, traveling all over this island he's on. And at one point, he thinks nobody spotted him, but
Yeah.
that's not what happened.
Unfortunately, no.
No, and unfortunately for Longclaw, the owl, she has to give her. I don't know if she lost her life or it's insinuated that. So she helps Sonic escape using these
Right.
rings, that could get you, that could help you travel to different planets.
Right.
If you think about where you want to travel, it appear when you throw the ring.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept, actually.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Wish we could do that ourselves.
Yeah, right?
That'd be great.
So, so there's a bunch of action at the beginning, and they're trying to get Sonic, and the owl saves him as caretaker. And then the film jumps to 10 years later, and you see Sonic is in a small town in Montana, a town called Green Hills. And we see that Sonic is running around, and he idolizes the local sheriff, his name is Tom Wachowski. I'm trying to pronounce the name right.
Wachowski.
And he has a veterinarian wife named Maddie.
Yeah.
Really good. I think Tima Sumter is that character. She plays Maddie. Probably Tika Sumter.
Right.
Good acting.
Oh, yes.
I
like the diversity in it, too.
in the story, Tom, it has a lot of diversity, which I liked.
I liked also.
Make more movies Hollywood and be more diverse.
Yes.
So Tom has recently been hired by the San Francisco Police Department, so he's preparing to move.
Right.
And although he enjoys his life in his town, and even his story that Wachowski has been a sheriff in his town for 50 years, watched over this town. But, he wants to
spread his wings.
He wants to save a life. He wants to feel like, his work at being a sheriff has more meaning. He wants to be needed, and he wants to save people's life, and he wants to, instead of small town life type of thing. That's why.
Right.
So, but here you have Sonic too. He's enjoying being in his town as well, but he longs for friends. He doesn't have any friends.
Right.
And one night in the movie, he's playing baseball after the game ends, because he's hiding this entire time. He's so fast nobody can see him.
Right.
But he's also hiding as well, and he's really depressed and upset that he's lonely and alone in his quest. And after he's done playing this virtual, this is kind of a neat scene. He's actually playing baseball, and he's playing all the parts. He's so fast.
Yeah, really.
He's playing the catcher, the pitcher, the batter, the outfielder who doesn't pay attention, and he's playing all these different characters and running all over the field. It's kind of cute. It's a neat scene.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sad at the end of the scene, because he sees nobody's watching him, and he's lonely.
Can nobody give him a high five
And
or whatever?
And it upsets himself so much that he starts running around the field, and he builds up so much energy doing that he sets off this huge electromagnetic pulse that knocks out the power to the entire, which is crazy.
Amazing.
So because of that, now the government's after them, because the Department of Defense then brings out that doctor, the crazy wacko doctor that builds machines.
Yeah, really.
Who was played by Jim Carrey, his character, Dr. Robotnik's. And who tracks Sonic down, finds out that Sonic ends up running, and the only person he thinks he could run to is to Tom, the sheriff.
Yep.
And he runs over there to try to get help from him, and then Tom shoots him with a veterinary gun.
In the leg.
Right. So, so this movie has a lot of really kind of neat ideas and scenes, and then the Jim Carrey's character Robotnik's tracks Sonic down to Tom's house.
Yep.
And he thinks he's there, and he knocks on the door. No. He's walking up the driveway after looking at things, and Tom walks out and tries to stop him, and then he tries to get into the house, and they're having this kind of a neat scene back and forth. And at first, when Jim Carrey, his character, came out, I thought about Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And I said, oh no, this better not be Jim Carrey doing Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah, I know, huh?
But they very cleverly stopped doing that, and it went somewhere else, which is good.
Which is really good.
And they toned down Jim Carrey. They didn't let him go crazy as Ace Ventura.
Like he normally does.
Right, which was good. They kind of controlled it, maybe through editing or whatnot. They only let him go off a little bit. But Jim Carrey is great. He's classic Jim Carrey in this. Marvelous, funny. In this scene he has with Tom when he tracks down Sonic to the house and he's trying to get to be let in. It's just funny. I mean, he says, "What's your name?" "My name is Tom, but my dentist calls me Tim." I don't know why, but it's been going on for so long. I didn't tell him my name was Tom.
Yeah, I know.
And then later, Carrey goes, "Okay, Tom," or Tim to the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a lot of clever writing.
Oh yeah, it's
Clever writing.
It definitely got a few laughs in it too, also. So
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Coming back to YouTube. We're not on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Dante's joined us. Hey, Dante, welcome.
Oh, yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he said, which, if you didn't see the rating, it got 4.5 stars. We think it's a very solid movie. We're surprised at how good this movie is.
Yes, really.
It's very adventurous. It has comic bits. It's pretty good. And Jim Carrey's back, and he's great. It's nice to have him back.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to have him back, yes.
So he finally Jim ends up finally getting himself into the house, and the sheriff has to punch him and knock him out.
Oh, that's after Sonic came out of his hiding spot and scared him, and then that's when.
No. What happened? No, there was other stuff that happened. He was getting ready to get rid of him. The sheriff made his way in there, and he saw a raccoon there, and the raccoon recovered. There's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the movie, yeah. That's actually surprising too.
Yeah, it's just very clever editing, just good movie making. I'm surprised this is your first movie. His name is Jeff Fowler.
Right.
Good job, Jeff. Good job. I'm really shocked.
Really good,
you did a good job for this being as clever as this movie was. You know, it's really a good movie. So. He ends up having to punch out Robotnik's Jim Carrey's character.
Yep.
And they have to take off, and now they're on the run.
Mm-hmm.
So the next part of the movie is them on the run, and the sheriff he's a terrorist.
Yep.
On the media, and they get to know each other. You know, Sonic gets to know the sheriff a little bit better, and he tells him he has the sheriff talks about a bucket list. Yeah. And Sonic doesn't know what a bucket list is, so he makes one, and I guess the Sheriff Tom just wants to help him complete all his bucket list. He gets to know, and Sonic is just trying to, the reason why they're on the run also, and he tries to get him to help him, is because
right.
Before when the sheriff shot him to pass out, he had thrown one of the rings, and he was thinking about San Francisco, so San Francisco came up because he saw it on the shirt.
Yep.
And his rings that he uses to transport to other worlds fell through it and ended up landing on top of one of the buildings there in San Francisco. So in order to get it back to leave, because Sonic thinks he needs to leave the planet Earth now because he's scared and that they're going to do stuff to him. And he has a great reason for it. Once you see Jim Carrey's character, I would want to get away from that kook anytime.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the midst of all this, they become really good friends. Now the sheriff wants to help him get everything off the bucket list. They're doing everything from country line dancing to riding a bull, and to getting in a bar fight at the end.
Especially when they're throwing those darts.
Yeah, no, that was funny too. Lots of great moments. Really good movie. Probably it's the movie season's too early.
Yeah.
But it's one of the better movies this year. Although Harley Quinn was pretty good.
Harley Quinn was good, yes.
Yeah. So, but this is a different thing. This would be really good, a good family movie to go see with your kids.
Right.
So,
very good.
That's probably why it's making so much money.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up getting, after that, they're still on a run. They get to San Francisco.
Meets his wife there.
Goes to his wife's. Sonic gets hurt.
Hurt, yes.
And so his wife is a veterinarian. So the first thing he thinks of is to take it to his wife, because his wife is the vet.
Mm-hmm.
And
at his sister-in-law's house.
At the sister-in-law that really doesn't like him.
Yep.
Wants a divorce.
Well, she wants her to divorce him. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, Stan, welcome. We got Stan that's watching us. Hey, Stan.
Oh, hey.
We're talking about Sonic Hedgehog movie. It got 4.5. The rating's 4.5 stars. Good movie. So, and yes, Virginia, this movie is better than the Pikachu movie.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
It is much better. As Captain Richter would say, it's much more better.
Much more better. You got that right.
Much more better in Captain Richter language.
That's right. Which means it's much more better.
So, the rings are in the Transamerica, the one that looks like a pyramid.
Yeah, Transamerican.
The Transamerica Pyramid building. So, because I said that some building in San Francisco they fell on, so now you guys know it's a Transamerica building.
Right.
So she ends up they lay Sonic down because he got injured.
Yep.
And she's saying, "I'm a vet. I don't know anything about extraterrestrial hedgehogs."
Yeah.
And so Tom says, "Do you have any cat smelling salts?"
Yeah, really.
Which was funny. And no, but I have human smelling salts. So she takes that out of her first aid bag and she puts the smelling salts, and immediately Sonic wakes up. That just got him up.
And he ran around
So
the house.
he's running around the house like crazy.
Oh, yes.
So he's okay, and there was a really, really, really cute moment.
Oh, yes.
With the daughter of the niece.
The niece, yes.
And the sister-in-law's child, where she sees that his tennis shoes has holes in them, and she brings Sonic her shoes.
Brand new shoes.
Brand new red shoes. And that was a touching moment. He goes, "No one's ever brought me shoes." So yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Stan, it's much more better. It is, for sure. Anyway, we've been talking to Stan about how the guy who directed it, his name is Jeff Fowler, and it's his first film, and it just, I've said this 2 or 3 times, but it's very impressive for being his first film.
Yes, very impressive.
It's nice to see Jim Carrey in all his glory. He's back. So they basically, after that, they go and take Sonic to the Transamerica building.
Mm-hmm.
And
he finds his rings. And then right as they're about ready to say goodbye, guess who shows up? Yes.
Jim Carrey's character, Dr. Robotnik's, shows up.
With his machines.
With all those machines, but this time he had a strand of Sonic's hair.
Right.
So now Jim in his ship could move as fast as Sonic.
Right.
Which we find out.
Later on.
Because in the movie, like when they had the bar scene, he's moving around so fast when he moves around fast that everybody else is frozen almost.
Yep.
So Sonic is trying to save them. So he pushes Maddie and Tom, the sheriff. He pushes them off the Transamerica building.
Yep.
And because he knows he's going to run down and save them with the rings, he's going to open up a ring and save them. But he almost doesn't save them because we find out that the doctor is, because he took the strand of Sonic's hair, his ship could move as fast as Sonic. So he almost doesn't save them. But he managed to finally, right at the last minute, throw the ring down, and he's thinking about Green Hills,
right,
the home that they were at in Montana. So they go into some barn there, and some farmer comes out and says, "Hey, you're here! Help me! My cow's about ready to have
a baby."
A baby! Thank God they didn't show that. But they
kidding.
But they go back to Sonic and Robotnik's. They're chasing each other, and they're chasing each other all over the world. You see them go to Paris, France. You see them go to the Great Pyramid, and see them go up the Wall of China. and eventually Sonic shows back up in Green Hills, Montana, and he's tired out. He can't get rid of the guy, and he's saying, "Why can't I? How is he keeping up with me?" He's like, he doesn't know that Jim Carrey's character has a strand of his hair. That's why he's fast now. So
he realizes it later on, though.
When he's chasing him, he realizes it. But anyway, after they go all over the world. You know, he's chasing him and blowing up stuff all over the place. They end up back in Green Hills, and Sonic is passed out. He looks like he's dead or something.
Almost,
he's like not moving, and of course Tom and Maddie show up and they're trying to help him. And at that moment, another one of the deputies fires his gun at the doctor, which is stupid. And as they're having an exchange and a back and forth, the sheriff says he calls Sonic his friend.
His best friend.
His best friend. And that snaps Sonic back to life.
And energizes him.
And he gets so much energy knowing that he grabs the strand of hair back out. His strand of hair, he takes it back from him.
Right.
And he takes a ring and he throws the ring. No, he has the sheriff throw the ring.
Yep.
And he's thinking about the mushroom planet where he was going to go to, which apparently there's this planet that's all mushrooms.
Yep.
And has no life there, no humans there,
no human life, nothing.
But just mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
So he ends up taking this burst of energy and he pushes the doctor and his ship back through and he makes him go to the mushroom planet. Now he's not there. And happy ending, everybody. Yay!
Oh, yeah, very happy.
It's a great ending, and then the credits roll and it ends and they have a good ending. Great movie. I recommend seeing Sonic Hedgehog.
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog
There's
movie.
also an opening for a part 2 if they decide to do it.
Right. One point where they go back and they see Jim Carrey in Robotniks. They see him on the mushroom planet. And no, Sonic is not a cat. Who said that?
Yeah, it's LOL. That was Stan.
Yeah. Did someone say they were a cat? Let's go back for a second because we're just about done.
Yeah, so if I get a hair from my cat, I guess I've always land on my feet and be able to jump real high.
Who said that?
That was Stan Solo.
Oh, yeah.
Michael comes back and says, Sonic...
He's a hedgehog, yeah.
Yeah, Sonic is not a cat, dude. LOL.
yeah. Sonic is a hedgehog. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just, so, and on the end credits, there's 2 different scenes. We go back and we see Robotniks on that mushroom planet.
Right.
And he's saying, I'm going to be back by Christmas, and then he shows the hair. In a bottle.
Crack bottle at that.
In one of those little laboratory bottle things. And I'm thinking, Sonic grabbed his hair back. How did he get that?
I know, yeah.
That didn't make any sense. I don't know why they filmed that. Or if they know that that's a mistake. That's a continuity mistake, guys.
True.
We saw Sonic grab his hair strand back. So why would, unless he had 2, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
And also, we see someone who's looking for Sonic.
Yes.
Show up.
A female hedgehog.
Yep. We see...
And this one can fly.
Yep. She could fly. So that was cool.
Splits her tail in 2 and makes a helicopter out of her.
I don't know that much about the video game, guys. You guys could let us know. Is there a female hedgehog that's like his girlfriend or something like that? Or wife? Or
I think that's in Genesis 2. Hedgehog 2.
Right.
The original Hedgehog, if I remember, when I used to play it, it didn't have any females in it at all. But I think, and I don't remember all that much about 2, but I think there is a female in there, and they both...
Oh. Knows that. Is there another hedgehog that's female? She had like a light brown colored hair, I believe.
She was all brown.
But it was light colored.
Light colored brown.
He's blue,
He's blue, yeah.
Yeah, he stands out, but she almost looked like a real hedgehog,
Yeah. Or maybe she's a fox in disguise.
Oh, okay. They had there was 2 tails that had 2 tails and the flew. Yeah, she definitely flies.
She definitely flies. Yeah.
She's trying to find Sonic, so I mean, it sets itself up.
For a part 2.
I don't know. She seemed female to me, though.
She was female, yeah. She was definitely female.
But, yeah. But, well, hey, you guys, if anybody watching this video, if you want to later put in the comments below if you guys know, let us know on the recap if anybody knows a little bit more about the game. But, yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I could see why everybody wants to go see it. It does, at first, yeah, it is kind of like a fox.
Mm-hmm.
She did kind of look a little bit like a fox.
Yeah, she did.
But anyway, so it's a good movie. I can see why it's a good family movie. It is better than the Pikachu movie. So I mean, we gave it 4.5 stars. But yeah, go on and see it. And so next week we're gonna review Picard episode 5, and if we have any other sci-fi shows coming out on Netflix or any other movies, we'll go watch sci-fi. It's not just sci-fi. If it's fantasy, adventure, or
Right.
something like that, or space stuff, we'll review it. Anything that's close to our genre are very, very make-believe. It's not real. We're going to talk about it.
Yes.
So don't forget, if this is the first time you've watched listened to our podcast, or watched our videos on YouTube, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up before you leave. And also subscribe to this channel, hitting the subscription button at the bottom below, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we go live, because we go live a lot, not just for these reviews and podcasts, which we're recording right now. We're showing you guys the behind the scenes, how we record our podcasts, which are audio. That's why we're talking into the microphones. But you definitely want to watch our live streams, because every Saturday we have our live trivia game.
That's right.
From Disneyland, our California Adventure, our Galaxy's Edge, and every week we're giving away one free gift. Last week, Bob Otting won the pin. It's a little pin that says the Battle for Endor.
Yes.
And the week before that, Dante won a. What did he win? He won.
Oh Lord.
I think it was a. Anyway, we're giving away gifts every week.
Oh, it was a keychain.
Oh, he won the keychain. Dante won the Batuu keychain. It said it had Batuu Galaxy's Black Spire Outpost on one side, and the other side had the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
Bob Otting also won another week too. He won this wonderful servo droid from the Droid Depot. So we're giving away gifts from Galaxy's Edge every week. Also, Dante won the Hans Dice and the Sabak cards.
Right.
So
And Allison won.
And Allison Whitaker, thank
Yeah.
you, Allison. Allison won the Chance Cubes.
And also the gift that was given to us to put up for someone to win was
cast member.
The cast member did. That was the thing for Star Wars.
Yeah, we had when we were walking around, a cast member heard that we were doing the live trivia game, and she wanted to contribute. So Allison got 2 gifts.
Yep.
So that could happen any week as well. If a cast member
true.
wants to give us something to give to you guys, we'll give it. So she actually got a really nice pin from a cast member. It said Galaxy's Edge, and she got the Chance Cube.
Right.
So we're going to be live at Disneyland every week that we're in town. When we're not in town, we're still going to have the live trivia game. We're just going to do it from that area if we're at a convention.
Yes.
Actually, in 2 weeks, not this next coming week, we'll still be at Disneyland, but in 2 weeks, we'll be at Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida.
Right.
So if anybody out there lives in Florida or knows any trivia about Pensacola, Florida, let us know, so we might add that as part of our trivia to you. Maybe it'd be someone might be selling some child merchandise there. Or
You never know.
we'll figure out something to give to you guys. So in 2 weeks, our live trivia game will come from there.
Right.
So that's it. Have you guys also seen the new Blurg, the Mandalorian on the Blurg? By the way, the new pop. Let me show you guys before we end. Here it is. Look.
Bring it down a little bit so
They can see it. They can see it, bro.
There,
the Mandalorian.
There you go. Yes.
I don't care about the Mandalorian. We're trying to show them the Blurg. He's cool.
Yes, he is.
And as some of you do know who are big Star Wars fans, the Blurg are from the Ewok movies.
Yep.
So thank you, Jon Favreau, and thank you, Dave Filoni, for you're starting to make the Ewok movies canon by adding the blurgs are from Ewoks of Battle for Endor.
Yeah.
So make sure you get this pop. It just came out. I got this at Mind Games. Thanks to Captain Rickster.
Yeah, I had found it, and I saw it. I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
I knew he wanted one because he was looking for one.
The other thing we're doing, guys, is we're also trying to support new and upcoming science fiction writers who write sci-fi novels.
Yes.
And this gentleman here, his name is Joseph Madden. So Mr. Joseph Madden has sent us his first 2 books.
Yes.
Captain Rickster's read the first book.
Yes, I have.
I'm gonna read it as well. I'm probably gonna read it on the movie, not the movie, but I'm not gonna watch a movie. I had a movie on my mind, but when I'm on the plane, when I'm flying to Pensacola, I'm gonna probably take the time to read this. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we'll, in a future podcast, maybe in March, we're gonna ask Mr. Joseph Madden to come on our show, and we're going to do a review of his sci-fi novels.
Yes.
Captain Rickster, what did you think about the Starhawk Chronicles?
It's a great book so far.
Yeah.
I'm going to read 2 now. And I know there's a 3rd book out. Came out sometime last year. Hopefully we can get that also.
Yes.
And be able to read it. That way we can read all 3 of his novels, and we can also make a comment about the stories that he had written and talk to him too live as one of our guests.
Yeah, So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do just that. Joseph Madden, check his book out. It's called the Starhawk, like a hawk, Chronicles. That's the name of it, the Starhawk Chronicles. I think you could get it on Amazon or online right now if you guys want to pick it up. Captain Rickster's liking it. It's a great sci-fi. It looks like it's a great sci-fi novel. So we're gonna do a review on AllForSciFi.com. We're gonna try to have him on our podcast talking about it. We want to support up-and-coming, other novel writers, because there's a bunch of them, and there's great stories to be told. We keep seeing the same thing over and over and over in movies in Hollywood when we have great writers here writing stuff. So we look forward to having you on maybe in March. If you do happen to see this, Joseph, we'll probably have you on in March. So coming back to YouTube, and we're going to close the show. Hold on. Hi, Ryland Bird's watching. Hi. Yes. Yeah, make the Ewok movies canon.
That's definitely true.
And yes, Michael, I think they need to put the Ewok movies on Blu-ray. I totally agree with you.
Those might be coming out soon, probably.
Well, we'll see what happens with that petition. I printed it, by the way, and that petition's like over 200 pages. From people signing it, so I have big plans coming up here in March concerning that, so we'll be announcing that in March, guys. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us on this week's episode of All4Sci-Fi podcast. Today we went ahead and reviewed Sonic the Hedgehog and Picard episode 4, Absolute Candor. And thank you, everybody. As always, we tell everybody, when going out this week, do something nice to somebody. Whatever it may be, whether it's something stupid and silly like carrying groceries for an older lady who can't carry groceries, or it's opening a door for someone, or it's a neighbor that was sick and you notice their lawn need to be mowed. Do something nice.
Yes.
And be nice to each other. Be nice to each other. As my dad always said growing up, and thank you, Dad, for instilling that in me, be a nice guy. I try, even though I fall short, I try. But thank you guys for joining us. I'm Eric Walker.
And I'm Captain Rickster. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Remember, Monday's a holiday, so have fun that day also. And then
Monday's a holiday.
And have a great week.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Virginia, for buying food for the homeless.
Right.
That's awesome.
True.
Okay, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for the live trivia stream live trivia game from Galaxy's Edge. Make sure you watch us next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 Pacific, 1 to 3 if you're Eastern, 12 to 2 if you're Central. We'll see you next Saturday.
Yes, we will.
Take care, everybody.
Take
God
care.
bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.